bro.
So MrBeast, KSI and Logan Paul just launched their own version of Lunchables called Lunchly, and it's going well as you'd expect it to. This news isn't really surprising, seeing how all these three have seen massive success in their previous food ventures, like Beast Burgers, which we all know was so great, and Prime, which is in the middle of 3 lawsuits for containing trace amounts of lead and other fun chemicals. With a track record like that, you should expect some top-notch quality in whatever they create next, and well, they've delivered. Lunchly is supposed to be an affordable, healthier alternative to Lunchables, and the main selling point here is that it's got less calories, which isn't even a good thing. That literally just means a smaller portion, and that's only the start. Logan Paul took it upon himself to dismantle Lunchables' empire with a tweet claiming that their lunch contains lead. Meanwhile, he's intent to include a bottle of Prime in his own meal, which is quite ironic. He also wants to make it super clear that it contains 10 times more electrolytes than a Capri Sun include in Lunchables, because we all know that little Timmy here is going to be running a marathon after his lunchtime. This evidently didn't sit well with some people, seeing how much backlash they received on Twitter after the announcement. But it gets even more interesting. DanTDM, of all people, made a tweet calling them out for selling garbage to children for the sake of making money. And he's not wrong. See someone like MrBeast, who made a whole career out of helping people, come out and endorse something like this is quite disappointing and a pretty big abuse for his reputation. And for what? If they had released with a truly healthier alternative, opposed to a shot-for-shot remake of existing Lunchable meals, they could have had the whole internet on their side. But MrBeast seemed to think otherwise. How does a lower calorie count make it any healthier? Like I said earlier, children should not have to get through the day with 300 calorie lunch. It's simply not enough. And instead of developing a real alternative, he's choosing to do exactly what he's attacking Lunchables for, and selling processed pre-made lunches that are hardly any better. But at least he tried to make a point, because you can't beat how bad KSI's response was. He attacked DanTDM for selling U2's figurines years ago, saying how it looks like crap because it's somehow in the same league as selling poison to children. But it's not even just that. As it turns out, the CEO of U2's literally got his start working for the Sidemen. And the very first one ever released was KSI's. But instead of stopping there, he doubles down by mentioning the tweet in his latest video.
YouTubers, man! I can't not say anything anymore! This is selling stuff for the sake of making money! Simple! How does this benefit their lives? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better! Do better!
And starts attacking every sponsorship that Dan has ever taken.
He was sponsored, then promoted, and made a whole video on Munch Pack, a monthly sub box full of food and candy to his Minecraft audience full of kids. Now obviously people didn't realize that I was shining a mirror in his face. Instead they were like,
wait, you did the same as Dan. You made toys with tube heroes.
and yes, that's fair, but I'm not the one complaining.
As if sponsoring a brand that you don't own is the same thing as owning a brand and still being irresponsible. And then the third clown jumped in. Like, sure, it's responsible for creators to leverage their position to build businesses and make a living, but this isn't the same. He's exploiting his fan base once again to make a couple of more millions. It just doesn't sound very genuine coming from someone like Logan Paul. If it were anyone else in the entirety of YouTube, I would have gladly agreed with that statement. And the community notes weren't letting anything slide either, especially the nutrition comparison, which was a complete joke. Things like protein and calorie counts are disappointing, and the amounts of electrolytes isn't even accurate, which is pretty funny. But still a pretty absurd thing to focus on in a meal that is meant to be healthy and filling for kids. Maybe if there was some actual meat in there and proper portion size, this could have been avoided. But it's obvious that all three simply do not care about their audience enough to feed them real food, and people are finally coming to their senses and seeing their true colors.